If the mind is looking at this as some kind of teaching, the mind will try and resolve something. The idea of the mind is to resolve, is to have a starting point, work it out, think about it, possibly try and create it into some activity, and then resolve it. Life, God, is not a resolution, you see. It's an ongoing there's no word that can describe it. It's an ongoingness. You see, life is an ongoingness to the mind. It knows it can't resolve it, but it's nothing better to do, you see. It's got so much time to think about what you could say past minds has taken to the stage. I'm going to look at that, says mind. I'm going to look at after this body goes. I'm going to look at God. I'm going to look at spirituality. I'm going to look at religion. I'm going to look at science. I'm going to look at biology. I'm going to look at cutting up a maggot and seeing what's inside of it. I can do it. See, the mind says, I can do it. Body. The human, this body is a consciousness body. Science will give words to it, atoms, molecules. Science are looking for consciousness and they already found it, you see. But they can't name it. They can't name it because they haven't fully experienced it with their minds, you see. We're experiencing consciousness infinitely. But our mind will say, can I see it in the microscope? Can I make something of it? Can't be really religious or spiritual, can't be really godly, because it's horrible little things that, have teeth and they change and they disappear from the body. They're not faithful to the body. They disappear into the Eiffel Tower, Deepak Chopra will tell you the body breaks up. Your whole body breaks up within a year, apart from your cartilage. It takes a long time for the cartilage to join the Eiffel Tower and the Grand Canyon, you see. So when you say, I am this body, you have to say, I am the breaking up of the body, you see. So there's no teaching, no entertainment, no thing to take your mind into some sort of possible path, resolution. Just is. But the only thing that is visible to you is this body, if you're looking in the screen. And let's look at the body, you see. The body consciousness. What is the body consciousness, you see? Let's ignore the names that we've given it. The makeup, flesh, bones, organs. Let's ignore that. What is the body consciousness? Primary, root, you see. Last, teachings. Let's say this is it, you see, this is all you've got to go by. The body is made up of thoughts. The body consciousness, the human body that you perceive, is not one body. It's thousands of bodies. Right now, I have the body of contentment, which is deep in the, if you say, like the onion, the layers of the body states. The contentment body is that original state, that one in the middle, you see. That contentment body is the one that is the door, let's say, to the other side, you know. So what are the bodies on top, you see? Well, if you look at any state, you see, the USA is broken up into states, you see. It's compartments, you know, it's little individual, you know, ownership. Our state represents this. This other state, Idaho, or what these states are called, represents this. But there's something that holds them together, and that's the boundaries of the USA. So it's a state within a whole. See? So this body is a state of me, is a state of anger, is a state of depression. All layers, every time you experience a word and you take ownership of it and you believe in it and you apply it, it's like painting your walls. You know, I'm fed up of this green, I'll put another coat on. That's why it's called a coat. You see, it's another layer. The human body is made up of layers. They're not visible to the eye. In your deeper self, you know. Because as you progress in life, you have so many bodies that make you feel warm. You know, the body of intelligence. Oh, my intelligent body is so expanding. It's thickening, you see. It's gathering more information. But you don't like the body of pain, the body of depression, the body of loneliness. You see, because it's when that body has a meaning, when the mind has given it a meaning, there's a sensory system inside that says, okay, I have to apply my reaction to this meaning. So when you are alone for a period of time and you feel lonely, the sensation of the emotions to the reaction to that is from that inner body, that sensory body, that emotional body, to say, oh, this is how you'll feel. Oh, I want to hug myself, you see. I have no one else to hug me. I feel lonely. That's not natural, you see. It's not natural to feel loneliness. It's not natural to feel angry. It's not natural to feel happy. These are temporary bodies that prevent you from being true to yourself, from being your original self. And the one that is always in the top. It cannot be grown over. You see, any new body coming in, any new needs or desires. You know, I want to buy a big mansion, you know, the body of mansion, you know. The emotional body will say, whatever. All other bodies get into action. We're going to have to do so many things. We're going to have to put up with so many experiences, so many sensations. Because at some point it's not going to happen and that person's going to get angry or depressed or disillusioned. So we have to get all bodies in preparation for this possible mansion body, you see. But the body, even the mansion body, cannot even coat over is that body, the body of me. 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 It's all about me. We have the poor me body. Me has 100,000 bodies in itself without the states of mind. I'm frightened. The instigation of one body creates all these bodies into an activity. And this vibration of life appears to be one state. The body, let's say the state of anger. Someone parks in your parking place. And the body of anger, but the body of me, all other bodies are stimulated to this protective thing. This, how are we going to deal with this? What's going to happen? How are you going to tell that person? Are you going to hit them? Are you going to just tell them? Are you just going to walk away and ignore it? What's going on? The human body, thought bodies, state bodies, states of thoughts. Yeah, the thoughts. USA thought, let's break it up into little thoughts. Let's break everything up into little thoughts, little states. So there really is only one body. But the idea, the thoughts, the mind creates so many protective elements for this human body. Not the natural ones, they're already there. The route to God is the route to God. What does it mean? R-O-U-T-E, the route, up through the clouds, through the universes, through the galaxies, through the cosmos. There he is. So I'm going to have to build a spaceship. Or I'm going to have to invent a body. A believing in God body. I'm going to invent that one. I don't know God, I believe in God. Another denial body, you see, another body to stop you doing what your whole purpose of being on this planet in a body is for. Is to recognize yourself as that root, you see, as that root. So the root, R-O-U-T-E, is in the root of all bodies. So the denial, as Ramana Maharshi is denying the thoughts of all that bodies, that states, that thoughts, that are protecting. But they're not protecting, they're denying you to travel inwards to your original route. The Bhagavad Gita, an incredible book, tells you about different states of consciousness. And there's like a tier system. Body consciousness, human consciousness, mind consciousness. I don't know. Christ consciousness, transcendental consciousness, cosmic consciousness, God consciousness. And the mind says, yes, they're going upwards. Because hierarchy starts at the top. And the truth is, hierarchy is at the bottom. The truth within each one of us, regardless of your status in life, is deep in the root. So you have to go through the me consciousness, which really is the highest consciousness for me, because I love me. I want me to be rich. I want me to be famous. I want me to be kind. I want me to be compassionate. I want me to be remembered. I want me to be in Wikipedia. I want me to be famous. I want me to be a celebrity. I want me to be a king. You see? And as you progress inward, you become lesser, you see. You feel, I'm lesser. These teachers say, you're not this insignificant body, you are infinite mortal God. I don't get that. Because I feel lighter, you see. I feel lesser. I'm giving away all that I've worked hard for, all that I've inherited. I don't like it. I feel non-dual. I feel like my boundaries, the boundary of me is disappearing. And there's a feeling of, they call it enlightenment, awakening. And you're into the Christ consciousness. And everyone's saying, do you believe in Jesus? What? I don't understand that question. I truly don't understand that question. Do you believe in Jesus? In the Bible? You don't answer the question. Because the ego wants to answer the question and say, well, Jesus is within. You know? And you don't want the other one to say, oh, check you. Who the hell do you think you are? You know? And it doesn't matter if you try and teach them and say, no, you look within. You also find Jesus. So you keep quiet. You keep quiet. And that's the first sign of merging with all that the mind was said was out there. You know, merge with Jesus out there. You know, I can't find the man. I can't find the body. I can't find the cross. I can't find the object or the subject. Because the object and the subject is within. That's the beginning of this merging and becoming non-dual. Now, you don't have to call it Christ consciousness. That's the Bhagavad Gita's words. You can call it whatever you like. But you don't need to call it anything, because if you call it something, it's going to stop you on this journey. You don't want to be stopped. Very intimidating now, very fearful. I've lost all my states. That guy is parking in my place every day and I don't care. What's going on? I have no anger. I have no greed. I have no needs. I have no wants. And this is Christ talking in the Bible. Now you can look at the Bible and the words of Christ will say, you need nothing from this world except the love that I am. And so Christ takes you by the hand at this point. Doesn't pull you, but convinces you. Keep going. Keep going. There's so many things to see. So many states of your sensory emotional connection to the root of the Father God. That's what Christ calls it, not you. And all of a sudden you're in this transcendental consciousness. You're so nothing. You're beginning to just fade, but not fade in a negative way, to expand and fade at the same time. You don't have a name anymore. You don't have this me. Your name body's gone, your me body's gone. But they're not really gone, you see. They're making way. You see, your body will do anything it can for you. It will close the doors immediately when it feels you're at risk. Stop this. Come back. and join me. Your body will not let you down, you see. Your mind, ego mind, it also is working on behalf of truth. But it's in a very susceptible, it seems sometimes aseptic way. It seems to be saying all the things that I don't want to hear. But truly you do want to hear. To get rid of the things that you have been carrying, the baggage for centuries. There's a lot of things that you've been carrying subconsciously that you don't want to come up to the front and remove or see through. Then you have that cosmic consciousness, and you can't even find yourself, can't find me, can't find you, can't find I. I is now the only thing that you have left that's keeping you tied to your body, this umbilical cord, because you're everywhere, like space. The song of the Avadut, I am nectarian knowledge everywhere, like space. But there's this Christ that seems to be coercing you, I don't know, coaxing you a little step further. And you're, who can go a little step further? I am you. I am that, whatever it is that we are, that you said in the Bible we are. And you're not actually even thinking this. There's no mind. You're just being coaxed along, and there it is, God consciousness. Right in the root. Right in the very core, which is infinite. You don't say the core of this human flesh and bones, because the infinite will take you in a measurement tape to say, 5 inches away. It is infinite travel. It goes on for months. You're exempt from this life. You're working. Everyone's saying, why are you smiling all the time? Why are you smiling all the time? Why are you smiling? You say, yeah. You can't find the smiler, you see. You can't find anybody to contemplate with, to negotiate with, to come to terms with. But the human body itself is working on its own. It's going to bed at night. It's eating. It's working. It's walking. It's talking. There's no talker. It's just words that are verbalized through years and years of memorized systems in the brain or in the mind. So the God consciousness is the root of yourself. And of course, there is that, what you would call a meeting, not a meeting of joy, the meeting of removing the joy, removing the enlightened state, removing, all these are named after the bodies, you see. Right? You don't want an inner body as the same as the outer body, do you? Yeah. When the outer body fades and dies, the me dies, the anger dies, the happiness dies, the depression dies, the loneliness dies, everything dies. To reveal your true original connection as God. Not the God, not the ego God, not the named God, the pure, tranquil self that the saints talk about. So, if you start giving names to the inner body, you're going to have to go through it again in the next life. So the inner body is just space, emptiness, contentment, being, love. You see, the imagination of meeting God is the most joyous. The route to God is the most joyous. When God takes away the joy, spins you around, acknowledges Christ, good job, son. You return. But you don't return to the me. You return to the emotions, to the simple sensory reactive state. This state has no states, it has no names, it is stateless. You're in the middle, you see, as Buddha says, the middle path. Everything is middle. You see, these paths in the last video, they're human ways of describing it, the layman ways of describing it, but the religious way is to say the middle path is right in the center. You know, the inner is on the other side, the outer is on this side, but the middle is a state of true joy, true contentment, true placid being. No fears, no worries. No fear body, you see. The human brain is the fear body. It knows. The brain won't program the legs to walk over the cliff unless it's engulfed with states that the brain can't even get through, and someone does something stupid because there's so many bodies in the outer. In science they call it dehypnosis. Ramana Maharshi calls it denial. Not this body, not this thought, not this thought, because these are thought bodies. You see, when you visualize hundreds of layers of skin, they're not that. It's hundreds of layers of thoughts, hundreds, 1,000 layers of words, of meanings, of practices, of ways. It's just one body, but it's layered with boundaries. You only need one boundary, the brain. Someone punches you, the brain says, hit them back. Yeah. You walk towards the cliff, the brain says, legs, don't go. And it's clearly heard. And you clearly turn round. The root of God is yourself. The root to God is within yourself. So God, can it be separate? You know, I don't like using the word God because it gives you a sense of a human God, a religious God. This state is not religious, it's not spiritual. It is beyond all words, ideas, concepts, thoughts, and meanings. Everything in this place is just a hum, a beautiful little hum. Your moment of recognition is a moment when God denies you, denies the joy, denies the me, denies the I, denies the anger, denies the depression, denies the greed, denies the lust, denies the sins. Now you're clean. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to live your life? Because you have nothing to go by. You have to start right at the beginning. There's no beginning. We're always this state. We're just like layers of body on it. We're like layers of mind, layers of thoughts, layers of ideas, layers of concepts, layers of ways. I am the route to God. See? That's not the body speaking, that's not the person speaking, that's not the name speaking, that's not the individual speaking, that's Jesus speaking. I am the route to God. I am is the route to God. You don't have to be religious. You don't have to be rich, a king. You don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be intelligent or wise. You're always that route. We're a chain. You see, Christ is at the front, but no one is joining hands, you see. You know that chain of hands? Christ leading forward. He's looking, no one there. Oh, here's one. That was my time. Now it's maybe your time, I don't know. That's the truth of what is experienced. There is a God. Absolutely is a God. And your body, your human body, masks it. Your original body, your soul body, your subtle body, the one inside the emotional sensory body, is the root. You have to remove the mask, you see, or remove the mask before you can take the journey serious. And then you go inwards, and you don't stop until all the consciousnesses become one. And when you return, you realize the me body was vital. The anger body was vital. Because without them, the ego would not have turned on itself. You see? Ego thinks it's great. It's great. It's doing all the right things. It's the only thing. But then when everything goes wrong, it gets angry with itself and it turns on itself. Like the snake eating its own tail. So when ego gets angry with itself, gets depressed with itself, it takes action. And something intervenes. Something intervenes. Someone's knocking at the door on the other side. Go find it. Go seek it. Go within. Go meet God. The mind, the ego, will not be happy with the result. What do you mean he didn't hug me? He didn't do this, he didn't do that. It, or whatever it is, that light. What? I did all that and nothing? All that and cleansed. Neem Karoli Baba says, cleanse the mirror of your heart and you will see God. It's a reflection of you. It's a reflection of your true self. But if you're listening with all these bodies on, all these thoughts, all these states, this will not penetrate. The only penetration is for yourself, to penetrate yourself into the truth, into the root, into the way that Christ says, through me, this me, I, Christ, is the way. Namaste.